lovely friends. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. Welcome to yoga. You are going to need nothing other than yourself and your mat for this practice. So take a seat, however is most comfortable for you today. Spine is long, shoulders drop down. Maybe close the eyes for a moment. You made it. Well done. This is not easy to even get to the mat for this kind of practice. So acknowledge that. A little pat on the back here. And take a moment for that shift. That shift from external judgment and list making and planning and worrying to this internal gaze, this focus on what is real and true and here for you in this moment. The rest of the world will be waiting for you. So commit to doing what feels okay in the body today. If I offer anything that does not feel right for you, I am not the boss of you. Skip it. Do something different. Find what works for you today in whatever way you show up. You can't get this wrong. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Well done. Let the eyes open if they were closed. Bring the hands down next to you on the mat. Let's take some sun breaths. Reach down, reach out, reach up, fingertips touch. Maybe gaze goes up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. So moving slowly here, moving intentionally. Timing the movement with your breath. Breathing in deeply here. Filling the lungs as the fingertips touch. And exhaling slowly as the hands come down. Good job. Reach up again. This time we're going to take a twist. So grabbing for that right knee with the left hand. That right hand can come behind you. Maybe gaze goes over that back shoulder and then come back to center. Good. Let's take it the other direction. So grabbing for that left knee. Left hand maybe as a kickstand behind you and then coming back through center. So let's take it back to the right again. So keeping it fluid here, keeping it moving back through center and then to the left. And just noticing how the spine feels. And back through center, those arms reach up. Left hand down, right arm stays up. And let's do a little pulse to that left side. So maybe bending into that left elbow a little bit. You can play with keeping it close to the hip or moving it farther away. Think about drawing that right shoulder behind you a little bit. Finding some length in the right side body. So plant that right hip down into the mat. Good. When you're ready, coming up through center and then switch sides. So it might feel different on this side. That's okay. Ground down through that left hip, left elbow behind you a little bit to open up the heart. Again, you can keep that right hand in close. You can move it out. You can bend the elbow. Just exploring here. We are just warming up. Good. Coming back through center. Take a deep breath in. And a long exhale. Great job. All right, coming over into tabletop pose now. So drawing those wrists right underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips, tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Let's do a couple rounds of cat-cow here. Belly down, gaze goes up as you inhale. Good. Exhale, drop the head down. Think about pressing the shoulder blades up towards the sky and tucking the tail. Nice. Belly drops, gaze lifts. Breathe in. And exhale, reversing that. Nice. One more time. And exhale, drop the head down. Belly button to spine. Nice job. Coming through center here, and let's step that right foot through. So you can help that foot through. It does not have to be pretty. You can send hips forward here. And hands can stay right here on either side of that right foot, or you can come up onto the knee here. So either way, settling those hips down and forward. Good. If you feel grounded here, if you feel steady and you want to reach the arms up, you can go for that. But really think about continually shifting those hips forward, looking to feel the stretch in the front of that left hip. Good. Take a deep breath here. And exhale, hands come down if they're not already on the mat, and then walk the hands back, straightening, maybe not all the way straight. You can always keep a bend in that right knee, but bringing that right leg a little bit straighter, drawing toes up towards your face, sending the hips back. Pretty intense stretch here in the hamstring. Maybe you want to windshield wiper that foot. Maybe you want to point and flex, seeing how that changes the stretch for you. Beautiful. Deep breath here. And as you exhale, walk those hands forward and let's switch the legs out. So that right foot is going to come back, left foot comes forward. Good job. So feeling that stretch now in the front of that right hip. So hands can stay right here on either side of that front foot. You can come up here and lift through the heart, pressing the hands onto that knee. Sending the heart up, sending the hips forward. Shoulders drop down, jaw relaxes. If you're feeling grounded, if you're feeling like you want to heat this up a little bit, arms can reach. But don't let those shoulders jam up towards the ears. Draw them down the back. Press into everything that is touching the mat. Soften the gaze. Deep breath in. And exhale, hands come down. Let's take that left foot back and find child's pose. So knees go wide. Fingertips reach forward here. Maybe a little shift side to side feels good. Deepen the breath here. Good. Inhale. Long exhale. Well done. Let's make our way to table to find downward facing dog. So maybe walking those hands like a hand's print worth forward of the shoulders, spread those fingers wide, knees underneath the hips, tuck toes, breathe in, exhale, hips come up and back. So maybe you want to walk your dog out a little bit here, bend and straighten the knees, just seeing how that feels. We warmed up the hamstrings a little bit already. Shake the head yes and no. Good. You are welcome to keep a bend in the knees here. Press the chest back towards the thighs. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bend the knees a whole lot. Walk up towards your hands. Knees are bent. Forward fold ragdoll. Hands can rest on the legs. They can interlace. Whatever you need here. A little sway side to side. Let the head go. Shake it yes, shake it no. No tension in the neck here. And then whenever you're ready, bend the knees more, roll or hinge all the way up to standing, coming to the top of the mat. Palms face forward, heart lifts here. Mountain pose. Just taking a moment, maybe hand to heart, hand to belly. If you like to set an intention for your class, you can do that now. Maybe there is something or someone that needs a little goodness sent their way. That person is always able to be you. Maybe just a moment of gratitude for the fact that you are on your mat today. Breathe in. And breathe out. Excellent job. Release those hands down, palms face forward. Take a deep breath in, reach those arms up, and exhale, fold all the way down. Come into that halfway lift, long spine here, hands to the legs. And then fold all the way down. Hands flat to the mat, step back to high plank. So both feet go back, high plank here. So feel free to drop the knees whenever you would like. Push the mat away, squeeze the bum, and breathe. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Drop the knees. If they are lifted, heart comes down to the mat slowly, slowly. So take the hands off the mat a little bit here. So widening the chest. And then we're going to take 3 lifts of the heart. So baby cobra here. Press the hands into the mat. Lift the heart away. And then slowly come down. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Lift the heart off the mat. Be cautious with the neck here. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. And lower down. Good. 1 more time. Lift, squeeze the bum. Beautiful job. Lower down. Bring the hands in closer so that they are on the mat. Come back to table pose. Tuck toes. And then hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Maybe you need to shake that head, yes and no again. Bend in the knees is always fine in your down dog. Press the chest back towards the thighs. Gaze is between the feet. Take a deep breath in. And a long exhale as you bend the knees and walk up to the top of the mat. Find your halfway lift, hands to the legs. And then fold all the way down. Bend those knees as you reach all the way up here. Good. Keep those arms lifted, but sink the hips down. So hips sink down, arms reach up. Tuck the tailbone a little bit so you're not getting too much crunch in that low back. Good. Gaze is straight ahead or gaze can go up. Sink those hips down a little bit more. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, straighten those knees and fold all the way down. Good. Come into your halfway lift, long spine. And then fold all the way down. Hands to the mat, step back, high plank. Good, so core is engaged here. You're pressing the mat away. So gaze is at the top of the mat, so you don't want to look forward. That's going to be too much for the neck. Knees drop whenever you need. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Knees drop down. Heart comes to the mat. Let's do those 3 back bends again. So moving the hands outside of the mat, you can spider those fingertips if you would like, elbows up towards the sky, and then lift through the heart. Good, slowly coming down. Second time, heart lifts, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and down. Good. One more time, squeeze the bum, lift through the heart, keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, hands come onto the mat, pushing back through table, downward facing dog. Beautiful job here. Settle the breath, settle the mind, breathe in. Bend those knees and step up. Half lift, long spine. Fold it down and reach all the way up. Gaze goes up. And release those hands down. One hand to heart, one hand to belly. Breathe. Breathe. It's all you need to do in this moment. That's it. Shoulders drop down away from the ears. Relax the toes. Take a deep breath in. And a long exhale. Excellent job. Turn to the long side of your mat. We're going to play with goddess pose. So taking a wide stance here. So toes are out, heels are in, hands come to the hips. When you are ready, you're going to lift through the heart to begin. Get length through the spine and then bend into the knees. So drawing the knees almost so that they feel like they're coming behind you. Sometimes their tendency is to collapse this way. So squeeze the bum, let the knees come back. Settling down into the hips. You might want to adjust the feet when you get down there. And then hands can come to the thighs if that feels okay. So heart is lifting to begin. It's almost like you could pick up the toes, wiggle them, and put them down again. Good. Shoulders roll down the back, sit down a little bit deeper. And then options, you can reach the arms straight up. You can leave the hands on the thighs. Drop one shoulder down, gently, gently, pushing that same knee away. Coming back through center, and then other shoulder. So getting a bit of a twist here in our goddess pose. Flowing from one side to another. Coming through center, but keeping that deep bend in the knees as you come through center. Good. Evening it out. Back through center, sit down one more time, maybe lifting arms up for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Stand up, bringing feet underneath you, mountain pose. Breathe. Just noticing how that feels. Can you feel your heartbeat? Can you feel the breath? Even when it gets challenging, can you keep showing up for yourself? Can you keep choosing yourself in the moments when it gets hard? Deep breath in. And let that go. Great job. All right, we are gonna play with yogi squat here. So we're gonna start down in tabletop pose. So starting in table is a way that I really like to get into yogi squat because it gives lots of options. So the first one is right here. So tucking toes and sending hips back. This can be a lot. This can be a lot on ankles, on soles of the feet, on knees, on hips. So this might be where you want to stay. So taking the knees wider than the hips, tucking the toes, this might be great. If you want to move the hands in closer, maybe you can play with lifting the knees. You might want to adjust the feet a little bit as you get there. You can bring the hands closer if you want to lift the heart even more. Another option is to bring one hand up, kind of bringing that elbow to the inside of the knee. Maybe you can play with the balance here. Maybe both hands lift. Maybe you'd like a block here. Many options. Heels do not need to come to the ground, clearly. Mine do not. Thinking about lifting the heart here. So this is not a position we get into very often in North America. It is much more common in other parts of the world. So it can be a really challenging one, but very beneficial in lots of different ways. So think about lifting the heart. Softening the face, deepening the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful job. Get out of this however it makes sense to you. You can bring hands behind you, you can bring hands in front of you, but eventually find your way to a seated position with legs out in front. You might want to pedal the feet out here, bend, straighten. Good job. Finding staff pose here, so hands can be next to you on the mat. Spine is long. If it feels better to bend up the knees, that can be a little kinder on the low back. Please do so. If it feels okay with the legs straight, maybe arms lift. Maybe finding a little fold forward. So maybe the hands come to either side of the mat. Maybe they're on the legs. Maybe you are grabbing toes. I really don't care. I'm not impressed by any of it. I just want you to feel good here. So finding whatever version of a forward fold is doable for your body in this moment. But see if you can let the heart lift. So there's no need to draw the forehead to the knees. I would much rather you find that hinge and a flatter back than collapsing forward here. Good job. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly sitting up and come to lie on your back on the mat. So knees coming into the chest, giving them a hug, maybe taking circles with the knees here, taking those in both directions. Excellent job. Arms come out like a T. Drop both knees over to the right side. Maybe the gaze goes left. You can always bring the hand to the tops of those knees if they need a little encouragement. And then as you are ready, knees come in to the chest and take them over to the other side. Maybe the gaze goes right. thinking about wringing out the spine here. Good. When you are ready, bringing those legs back into center. Maybe a hug here. And then taking whatever final movements are going to feel good right here. We are about to settle into our Shavasana, and I want you to make sure that you've gotten what you needed today. So you're welcome to take figure 4 or another hip opener. That's ankle on opposite knee. Maybe you need another twist or inversion. Please do that. And then whenever you're ready, you can settle into Shavasana, your resting pose, in whatever physical position feels best to you. And just rest. You have earned it. You don't even need to earn it, but you have. I hope you can take a moment to acknowledge the fact that you set this time aside, that you chose yourself. Keep choosing yourself. Keep coming back to these practices that nurture you and help support you to do everything you need to do better. It is hard to choose yourself. There is a whole world demanding your time, your attention, your love, your support. And that's okay, you can do all that. But you can only sustain doing that if you choose yourself once in a while. So other people might be disappointed in that. That's okay, let them be. I really don't want you to be disappointed in yourself. And I find that I am much less disappointed in myself when I show up for myself sometimes. So keep choosing yourself, keep showing up. You'll do everything else better. Notice if you are holding tension in your body anywhere. See if you can bring a little more ease there. See if you can deepen the breath just a little bit more here at the end of our practice. Deep breath in. Let it out slow. If you have time for a longer Shavasana today, please stay in it. If you're ready to move on with your day, you can take a full body stretch. Maybe bringing yourself back up to a seated position, maybe hand to heart, hand to belly. Recalling the intention or moment of gratitude that you took towards the beginning of our class. Breathe in. Breathe out. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. It's always such an honor for me to lead you through. May you be well, be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with peace. Namaste.